Hi everyone, in this video I'll be showing you how to leverage Airtable Automations and the repeating group action to templatize task creation for projects that you often encounter. I'm Lester, I'm one of the senior developers here at Optimize IAS, and we are the two-time Airtable Partner of the Year, helping businesses create smarter systems in Airtable. Let's get started. Now I have here a very simple project management piece. I've got two tables. I've got a projects table and a tasks table. Over here in our projects table, we're just capturing the project name and connecting it to its tasks. Over here in our tasks table, we've got the name of our task, its status, and what project it's for. Now, currently, we just have one project. We've got John Doe's house build, and we've already set up the tasks for this project. But let's say, for example, we're doing so well for John Doe's house build. He referred us to a friend. Let's say Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne now wants his house built by us. Now we know that the tasks that we need to do for a house build are exactly the same. So that means that the tasks that we did for John Doe's house build would be exactly the same as the tasks that we need to do for Bruce Wayne's house build. Without Airtable automations or templates, we would have to manually recreate these tasks that we did for John Doe for Bruce Wayne. And we don't want that. So to get started with our templates or our template automation, we're going to start by creating a new table. We will call this our template tasks table. The purpose of this table is to store information or the tasks that we want to reuse for different projects that we'll be working on. I'm going to get rid of these columns that we don't need at the moment because let's say, for example, right now, we just want to capture the task name. You can get more detailed with this one by adding more columns, but for now, we're just capturing task name. So I'm going to go back to our tasks table. I'm going to copy these tasks that we've set for John Doe. I'm going to paste it here. And now we have our template tasks. These are the tasks that we want to reuse for every house build that we'll be working on. Now let's get started with the automation. Right now, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to assume that every project that we're getting at the moment is a house build. So for our automations trigger, we're going to say that, or we're going to use the when record is created. And we're going to have it watch the projects table. So pretty much what this means right now is run if a new record is created in the projects table. What we want to happen next is to generate the template tasks for that new project. So to get started with that one, we'll need to make use of a find records action. We want to find the template tasks that we've set up earlier. So for this find records action, we're going to point it to our template tasks table. We're going to set a condition wherein the name is not empty. And again, you can get a lot more detailed with this one. For the meantime, I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to say that where the name is not empty. And then we're going to test this find records action out. And you'll see here that it returned all of our template tasks. Now, what do we want to do with these template tasks? We want to create task records from these template tasks for the new project that we just got. So we're going to now use the repeating group action. And for the input list, we're going to use the output of our second step, which was the find records action. And then for each of those template tasks, I want to create a record in the tasks table. I want to copy the name from the template task. So for the name field, I'm going to say use the current items name. And then I want to make sure that it's connected to the new project that I just got. So for the project field, I'm going to point it to the trigger records record ID. So this should be all set. Let's test this out. I'm going to turn this automation on. And I'm going to go to the projects table. I'm going to delete this record. I'm going to recreate it, by the way. So I'm just going to delete it for now. So let's say that Bruce Wayne house build. And you'll see that the automation already ran. It created the necessary tasks for this new project. So if you go to our tasks table, you see that we've now got a new set of tasks. Let's group this by project. And there we go. We now have the same set of tasks that we did for John Doe's house build for Bruce Wayne's. Now, let's say, for example, business is going well, we expanded, we now have a new project type. We're not just doing house builds anymore. We're now doing house demolitions. Okay, so because it's a completely different project type, it would have a different set of tasks. And again, we want to templatize this. So to factor this into our existing automation, what we'll need is a new table. We'll call this one project types. You could also call this template projects, but for now I'm going to call it project types. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these unnecessary columns. And again, we just have two project types that our business is working on: house construction or house builds. And we'll call this one demolitions. Now for these ones, because we know that each project type has its own set of unique tasks, we need to connect it to our template tasks table. So what we're going to do is from the project types table, we're going to say, or we're going to create a new linked field connecting it to template tasks. And over into our template tasks table, we still have our original set of template tasks. We want to update these and say that these are part of house builds. Now, let's create template tasks for demolitions. We're going to start off by saying we want to secure the site, make sure that nobody's there when we're doing our demolition. And then let's say, for example, we also want to transport equipment. Let's say we've got equipment involved for the demolition. And then let's say we're actually demolishing the building now. So demolish building. And then we've got to get rid of the trash or the debris. Clear debris. So these four template tasks are part of our new project type, which is demolitions. Now, over in our projects table, whenever we get a new project, we want to tag a project type to it, and only then will it get the relevant tasks and generate it for that new project. To do that, what we'll have to do is connect our projects table to our project types table. So we're going to create a new linked field. We're going to connect our projects to project types. We're going to call it project type. We just want a single record here. So the expected outcome is whenever we get a new project, we're going to tag a project type to it. If it's a house build, create tasks that are relevant to a house build for this new project. Or if, for example, it's a demolition, create tasks for this project that are for demolitions. But currently, our automation is configured to run on record create. We need to update our automation. So we're going to go to our automation interface here, turn this off, and we're going to update our trigger. We're going to say when record is updated. You could also use when record matches conditions, but for now, we're just going to assume that the project type column is always populated. So we're going to say here when record is updated. Or yeah, I think record matches conditions would be a better fit here. When record matches conditions, and we're going to say watch the projects table, and the condition is project type is not empty. And then what we want to do for the find records is we want to find tasks that are for the project type that we've just selected. So we're going to update our find records step. The condition would be find template tasks whose project type is exactly the same as our project records project type. So trigger record, we're going to look for the project type here. And then we're going to keep everything else as is. Double check if everything's set up. All good to go. Let's turn this on. Now let's say, for example, we've got a new project. Let's say Tony Stark. House demolition. You see that the automation hasn't run yet. That's because we've updated our trigger. But now, let's try tagging a project type to our new project. We're going to say that this is a demolition project. what's going to happen is the automation would now run in the background, creating the necessary tasks for this project based off of the project type that we've tagged it to. So if we go into our tasks table, you see here that for Tony Stark's project, we now have a different set of tasks compared to the tasks that we've set up for Bruce Wayne and John Doe. So yeah, that is pretty much it. If, for example, you need help setting this up in your own base, feel free to reach out. Our details will be in the description down below. Thanks.